Hey everyone, Colgate here. Today I'm going to be talking about my topping list for vampire format. The format in like 2003, 2004. Let me actually check when it was. We're going to go to a format library. This is a format that people don't play a lot. Um, but this is a pretty big tournament. It's like a 30-something person tournament, which for like an unknown old format is kind of impressive. February 2004. Very old format we're talking about here. And I just wanted to kind of go over the deck list because this deck did in fact top, piloted by me. So going over some of the decisions, obviously a lot of them are just, I mean, it's old Yu-Gi-Oh, so a lot of them are just power staples. We can actually put the February 2004 list so you can kind of see what was limited, which is half of the deck. But obviously the interesting part is the Archfiend, which we'll touch on in a bit. 3D Warrior Lady, this is like one of the best cards in the format. This is crazy, just outs Vampire Lord, which is why it's called Vampire format. Really, it's DD Warrior Lady format. She is so good. We got Exiled Force, just 1-for-1 removal, really nice. Marauding Captain, I'll touch on a little bit later, because this is not a very standard card, even if it's limited to 2. Dangan. Sasuke Samurai, I just like the fact that he's here. I think he's kind of fun. I don't really remember a very specific reason why I had him, but he comes up. Sinister Serpent, obviously limited card, really good. Tribe Infecting Virus, Witch of the Black Forest, like all these power 1-ups that you see here, like there's no reason not to play them, especially with 3 MST. Of course you would play Mirage of Nightmare, because the Mirage of Nightmare, you draw 4 cards, pop it with your own Mystical Space Typhoon, and you get to keep those cards. If you've never read Mirage of Nightmare, crazy card, look it up. Pot of Greed, Regeki, Terraforming to search your field spell, which I'll get to later, but the field spell is probably worth cutting. Reinforcement of the army is good. I mean, obviously, very good. Gets Marauding Captain and DD Warrior Lady. The Forceful Sentry, called the Haunted Imperial Lord. Like, all these are just crazy cards. Now, I'll get to what you actually came here for. Because obviously a lot of old Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck building is just filling out a bunch of staples, and then having a core of the deck outside of that. But here's my core that I chose that worked out for me. And it's all because of this guy. Terror King Archfiend. Cannot be normal or flip summoned unless you control an Archfiend monster. Once per turn during your standby phase, you must pay 800 life points, or this card is destroyed. When resolving an opponent's card effect, the target to this card, roll a 6-sided die and negate that effect. If you roll a 2 or 5, and if you do, destroy that card. Negate the effects of effect monsters destroy a battle with this card, including in the graveyard. This is the reason why you play this card. The targeting protection is nice, but this is the reason why you play this card. It is very hard to get this type of effect on this type of monster. And how do you get him out? Well, Marauding Captain, for one, can special summon Terror King Archfiend from the hand. Now you may ask, well, sure, that's like a pretty good effect, right? To negate cards, but I'm sure there's better ways to do it. However, this, I believe, to be the first Towers monster, because there is a lot of destruction removal. And I would like to take a moment to read Deathstroke Archfiend. Once per turn during your standby phase, pay 500 life points, or this card is destroyed. When resolving an opponent's card effect that targets this card, roll a 6-sided die and negate that effect. If you roll a 3, destroy it. None of that really matters. Here's what matters. When a Terror King Archfiend you control is destroyed, period, and sent to the graveyard, even during the damage step, pick effect. You can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, then target that Terror King Archfiend in your grave and special summon it. So what you're essentially doing, if you have Terror King Archfiend and Deathstroke Archfiend, is having a hand trap that protects Terror King, because if you do anything to him, if you can even get past the targeting protection, right? If you use something like Mirror Force, You use something like Ring of Destruction, if you like whatever, Regeki, Dark Hole, Tribe, anything like that, he comes back because of Deathstroke Archfiend, right? Pandemonium, when an Archfiend monster is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, except by battle, its owner can add an Archfiend monster from their deck to the hand of the lower level than the destroyed card. So as you can see, if Terra King Archfiend gets destroyed, you get to search Deathstroke Archfiend. So if you have Terra King Archfiend, Pandemonium, and Deathstroke Archfiend, your opponent would have to destroy your Terra King Archfiend 3 times before you run out of Deathstroke Archfiend. Isn't that insane? I think that's pretty crazy. Me personally, and that's mainly like what the deck is about. It's just summoning this guy and it being like a big, huge threat, right? Not to mention, stacks up beautifully against the meta threat, DD Warrior Lady, because you are negating DD Warrior Lady's effect, so it cannot trigger. Thus, your Terra King Archfiend is not banished. Also negates things like Sinister Serpent, negates Witch of the Black Forest and Stangan. It's just such a good card. Me personally, I don't think it's like the best deck of the format, but it certainly is one of the formats where Archfiends in this state, like the chess board Archfiends, are pretty playable. I don't think it's the best format of all time, by far. There's a lot of neighboring formats that are a lot better. But boy, am I happy that I got to play Terra King Archfiend as my boss monster and top with him in one of the biggest look back tournaments, right? Like modern tournaments for an older format. Time Wizard, if you will. Even though Time Wizard format is now dead. Thanks, Konami. But yeah, that was just a look-see into this deck. If you are curious about Vampire format, you probably can find a lot of information about it. A lot of people, again, don't really play it, but who knows? If it sounds interesting to you to play a format where you can play Terra King Archfiend Turbo, this is the format to do it. Anyways, that's it for me. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.